And it looked like there is more drama coming out of the Caitlin Clark pipeline with her final preseason game.
I wish Caitlin Clark gets back or I can't feel my face.
Oh.
I can't feel it. Are they?
She gonna do it.
Nah,
I don't think so.
Let that just go. I'm gonna just be honest. Caitlin Clark.
Both Caitlin Clark and the referees, who reportedly obtained their licenses from a Cracker Jack box, have returned. You should reconsider if you believe that the whistleblower circus from the previous season was over. She's dropping 30 out here, while IQ points are being dropped by the referees. Are they Caitlin's permanent, or did someone neglect to rotate them out? Haters? This meltdown is more intense than her three-point shooting percent, so grab some popcorn. And believe me, it's hilariously annoying. Let's get started.
They need to be investigated ASAP. We see what's happening with Caitlin Clark. There's no reason you shouldn't be protecting your star player, because without Caitlin Clark, there won't be no sold-out arenas. The viewership on TV would not be like it is now, where everybody's watching it because it's must-watch TV. But we are seeing how she's being treated.
It seems like protecting Caitlin Clark in the WNBA is easier than finding a referee who can truly see it take place. Because Caitlin Clark enters a WNBA game with a target on her back once more. The size of Indiana gets dressed up like a WWE match from 1997, and the referees, they're too preoccupied with yoga in the corner or seeing birds. Perhaps they mistakenly believed they had signed up for a professional basketball team rather than the Cirque du Soleil League. Because there was no officiating during the Indiana Fever vs. Atlanta Dream game. Whistles were used in an interpretative dance.
About the WNBA refs and start the video there and center it on that. The WNBA refs are not consistent. A hit to the arm on one play is a foul, and a hit to the arm on another play is not a foul. The inconsistency is really bad for this league, especially with all these players you got coming in. You got Caitlin leading it, right?
Perhaps the most anticipated player to take the WNBA court in decades, Caitlin Clark is attempting to play basketball. While the other squad is doing gladiatorial auditions, she's dishing passes, hitting shots, and running plays. And she's being treated as like she owes someone money in exchange. Not only did the Atlanta Dream act aggressively, but they also made it appear like the strategy was written on a scroll with the title, Step 1, Stop Caitlin. Step 2, if you are unable to stop Caitlin, try a physical attack.
What's the DJ Currington situation? Yesterday, I did a DJ Currington video kind of breaking down that whole thing, technical on that. They didn't call nothing on that for her poking Caitlin Clark in the eye, and that really had me thinking like, damn, they didn't call nothing on that for her poking Caitlin Clark in the eye, and that really had me thinking like, damn, how many times did they actually, drop the ball and didn't call stuff against Caitlin? Now, Caitlin got called for a technical for hitting the back of the backboard.
And yet the referees? Nothing at all. Nothing at all. The traffic light would be more likely to give you a foul call. But hold on, things improve. When someone did blow a whistle, it was to call Caitlin Clark's first technical foul of 2025. Yes, the referees missed each and every unlawful blow on her body, but they issued the yellow card when she appeared irritated. Apparently, the true crime here is expressing annoyance after being robbed in court. Caitlin was tripped, shoved, and elbowed, but what was the real issue? Her voice.
Caitlin Clark gets her first tech.
Perhaps the WNBA ought to spend money on emotion meters. She scowled a little after being flung into a chair. It's a WNBA referees now resemble those characters in scary movies who pass the real killer. And think, it must have been the wind. If Caitlin were thrown headfirst into a popcorn maker, the referees would say, accidental interaction. Continue playing.
Now, I'm here to tell you, this is getting mixed reviews. Some people saying Caitlin Clark pushed off. Another person is saying the other players bear hug Caitlin Clark. But let's read what the caption stated. It says, the ref standing right there watching her put two hands on CC waist. If he didn't call that, he ain't calling the push off.
Let's discuss the WNBA officiating plague that makes you question whether the referees have a guidebook for capturing the flag mixed up with a rulebook. Because Caitlin Clark is not the only one undergoing physical examinations. She is simply the most obvious victim, much as in a hockey game. And that visibility? It ought to be important. You would think the league would handle. She is a walking marketing miracle. Someone who increases social media interaction, TV ratings, and ticket sales just by fastening her shoes. You would think she would be carried to games by a group of Secret Service agents while wrapped in bubble wrap. Agency. Instead, it appears that the league's unofficial philosophy is, let's grow women's basketball by letting defenders treat her. As if she owes them money. It is deafening how silent league officials are. No declarations, no cautions. There is a spooky silence while chaos is happening in real time, with no attempts at fundamental responsibility. National, Clark is being abused. Television, and we get crickets rather than indignation. Lesser-known athletes, meanwhile, are catching comparable temperatures, but without the media attention to highlight their abuse. If the WNBA intends to, they may wish to reconsider the playbook in order to safeguard the game, ideally without any gladiatorial fight.
She's being pushed around, she's being slapped around, sometimes she's being punched around, and the fouls just keep getting harder and harder. When are the refs going to do their job? As a matter of fact, when is the WNBA going to do their job? Because there should be some suspensions, check. There should be some fines, check. And you should be setting an example for your star player. Because God forbid this young lady gets hurt. Everything collapses for the WNBA. So give credit where it's due. Stop with the hate behavior. Start calling the calls the way it's supposed to be.
The WNBA referee's ability to continuously be terrible for everyone is truly amazing. Incompetence is truly equal, if you will, equal opportunity neglect. You receive a blow to the face. You get your body pushed into the third row. No fouled, oh, you most likely failed. And please don't ask a referee, why didn't they call it? If you dare to question their holy silence, you will receive a technical. This league has such a low standard for wrongdoing that it may be underground. Let's go back to Caitlin Clark's notorious technical. What precisely was the offense? Standing up straight? Emotional expression? Too secure in your breathing? We might as well give out technicals if being female and excellent is the new benchmark for unsportsmanlike behavior. During the tip-off and prevent tension for all. However, this isn't about a horrible game or a particular call, it's an increasing trend. More obvious with each quarter. If you are unable to defeat Caitlin Clark with skill, it seems that the approach is to bulldoze her and expect the representatives to shrug, take a sip of their coffee, and act as if nothing had occurred. Play is not the message being communicated. Play fairly and hard. Play filthy, and we'll turn a blind eye.
I don't want to see none of the calls being missed like we seen last year, bro. These referees have to get it together. Now, we know the Indiana Fever front office did everything they had to do, put the right pieces around Caitlin Clark, make sure they make it far in the playoffs to possibly get a WNBA championship. Well, that part is done. We got a new team, we got a new coach. They got everything they need to do to take off for the 2025 season. The only thing left is these WNBA referees. This need to be talked about, just like it was supposed to be talked about at the conclusion of that season. And I'm back on a bumper, bro. I am not letting up on them damn WNBA referees because they are the biggest haters when it comes to Caitlin Clark, bro.
Indeed, we did see you, Atlanta Dream. Instead of playing defense, you engaged in a full-fledged. Caitlin Clark is the primary obstacle in a live-action American Ninja Warrior episode. At one time, she made it through the gauntlet since that wasn't basketball, and I was half expecting a buzzer to sound while someone yelled. The WNBA officiating team performed a full-contact stunt display. They remained unflinching. They appeared to be in a gallery. Critics nodding along while appreciating some abstract interpretative dance, thinking, sure, the violence definitely speaks to the disarray of contemporary femininity. Indeed, avant-garde art. Caitlin might as well show up at this rate. In cleats, football pads, and a helmet because it's obvious that standard basketball equipment isn't sufficient to keep her safe from getting. Every 5 seconds, the body is examined. However, given these referees, they would most likely give her a technical flag for excessive readiness or careless use of safety gear. But let's discuss this greater tragedy. WNBA officiating as a whole. The referees would be like a baby attempting to choose your favorite crayon. You can maul someone while driving and get away with it, but if you retaliate, you'll be portrayed as the villain with a mustache in a melodrama.
Indiana Fever fans, we got another W in the preseason against the Atlanta Dream, 81-76. There's a lot that went on in this game. So this was a very competitive game. All the way through, they were given full court defense on Caitlin Clark for the most part of the game. The starters did sit after 3. Caitlin Clark finished with 13, 7, and 6. She could have had 12 to 15 assists. Wait until you see the highlights. She did drop a couple bombs. She hit 3 3-pointers. We did get a...
The league continues to argue that it wants more spectators, supporters, buzz, and occupied seats. Here's a groundbreaking idea, though. Don't allow your biggest celebrity be body slammed like she's trying out for WWE Raw, perhaps. Observing Caitlin Clark acquire style. Every night, she's bulldozed, elbowed, and checked like she's in the middle of a Jason Bourne chase scene. Shout, watchable product. And the officials? Useless. They are not referees. They are mannequins elevated with cones would provide greater resistance to whistles. Cones, at least, don't act authoritative. These referees? They pretend to be there for the cardio rather than the calls. But this embarrassment's true MVP. The league office. Quiet, silent, disappeared, no declaration, no acknowledgement, not even a generic, half-hearted investigation. Just a collective shrug, as though the settings menu's star player protection were an optional feature. It raises the question of whether they are using a team of interns on dial-up or if they are genuinely viewing the games, as well as a carrier pigeon. Because it appears to be carelessness disguised as professionalism from the outside. Try demonstrating your concern first if you want your supporters to feel the same way. As of right moment, the WNBA is only defending is its own lack of interest.
The biggest hurdle for Caitlin Clark and Indiana Fever last season was the WNBA referees. Now, the front office made it their business to revamp the team, bring in more aggressive players to help them get further in the WNBA season and possibly win a WNBA championship. But before any of that stuff can even get done, we have to take a look at the misguided missile that can destroy everything this upcoming season, and that is the WNBA referees and this secret agenda. Yes, there was a secret agenda against Caitlin Clark.
Let's also discuss the ridiculous fact that generational genius Caitlin Clark is currently facing consequences for increasing the profile of the league. Because that's what this is. The more well-known she becomes, the more fiercely she is targeted. Additionally, the league is allowing her to be transformed into a tackling dummy with eyeliner rather of doing action to safeguard her. What if LeBron James was pushed into the crowd without anyone noticing? A government probe would take place. For a week, ESPN would cease all other coverage, and an urgent press conference would need to be held by the NBA commissioner at a factory that makes cheesecake. But what do we get when Caitlin Clark has her body examined? Crickets. It seems as though there is a calm. There is growing animosity within the league. Like, how dare this young, highly anticipated talent appear and set new records for ratings? And anticipate being treated more like a real basketball player than a piñata on legs. It's a delightful irony. After years of longing for media attention, the WNBA has finally received it. Additionally, rather than making the most, they're allowing it to unfold like a blooper reel.